Anyway, I would say to you two things, networking and mindset. I'd say they're somewhat related. One of the powerful things about networking is everybody that you come into contact with has their own network. And so if I think of Todd, I don't think of just Todd. I think of all the people standing. It's like that Verizon commercial where the guy's out there and she's on the phone and he looks back and it's always the same guy in front, right? It's the guy with the glasses and kind of the goatee. But then there's this whole group of people behind him. Okay, so I look at Todd. I want to think, my visual is, if I stay in touch with Todd, I stay in touch with his whole network. That's the key. Since Tom Jolis, Mason City, Iowa, called me, he's not moving. He had someone who was moving. That's the way it works. 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100. Now, most of us know that. But we know it like this, on a piece of paper that we pull out every once in a while, that we come to a lunch and learn and hear about. And all I'm suggesting is, if you can make it a part of your mindset, and when you see someone, you're going to meet them somehow, well enough to follow up with them. And I meet people at church. A lot of times I'm going to think at church, okay, so I'm not going to, hey, what do you do? Okay, wrong setting. So how long have you been a member here at church? 7 years. How about you? Well, we've been here almost 14 years. Oh, you were here when it... Yeah, we were. So 7 years, so now I'm back. So I'm just answering their question out of courtesy. I want more information. So I said, so do you guys live close by? Yeah, we do. We live right over here in Plantation. That's all I need, really. Unless their names are Joe Smith. Now I need a little bit more. But if it has any kind of distinctive name, I look up the name in a white pages, look up Plantation, match the name with the address, and I'm golden. But it would be easy for me to go on. So you guys have children? Yeah, where do they go to school? Plano or Frisco? Yeah, Plano, Frisco. How about you guys? Our kids are grown. It's like a one-act play. Try it. I mean it. Try it. But figure out what questions you want to ask based on what information you want to glean. A guy was on the plane with me one time. I said, so we went through you headed home or leaving home? He said, I'm headed home. We were in San Jose coming back. So I said, how about you? I said, me too. So now what do I know? He lives in Dallas, and he was in the San Jose area. I said, where were you in the San Jose area? He says, up Palo Alto. I was at Stanford Hospital. I said, well, what do you do that would cause you to go up there? I'm an attorney. A long trip. But he said, what do you do? Or before he could say that, I went ahead and I said, what do you specialize in? He said, I'm a litigator. I said, so what would take you to Stanford Hospital? He said, I specialize in medical malpractice and trademark infringement. And I said, 3 hours and I'm going to sit next to this guy? What am I going to talk about with this guy, right? So at some point he asked me what I did, and I was so discouraged. I said, I don't know. So now, all right, so think about this. All right, so let's just say, okay, here's how my mind works. Okay, this is going nowhere. This lawyer, litigator, trademark infringement, I don't know any of the doctors at Stanford Hospital. But let's go back. What did he say? Where? Okay, I'm changing gears. Forget the attorney stuff. We're coming back to Dallas. So how long have you lived in Dallas, or what brought you to Dallas? Or, I said, were you from Dallas? That's what I asked him. He said, no, I moved to Dallas when I started school at SMU. SMU, that's where I went. So now we're getting someplace. So I said, were you in a fraternity? He said, no, I wasn't. He said, how about you? It's just unbelievable. And I said, I was a Fiji. And he said, I said, so did you enjoy your time at SMU? I am fishing a little bit here, trying to figure out, okay, I got to get another link. He said, yeah, I enjoyed SMU. As a matter of fact, that's where I met my wife. And I said, really? I didn't know where I was going to go with that. Careful. Yes. Yeah. He's much younger than I was. So, but before I could say anything else, he said, yes, I met her there because She was there because her father is the general counsel to SMU. And I looked at him and I said, your father-in-law is Leon Bennett? And he said, the guy just, yes, how did you know that? I said, I sold him his house 20 years ago. I said, I knew your wife before you did. Now he kind of, what? I said, yeah, she was 4. And it was the truth. And you go, yeah. You know what it is? It's like that 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
It's a small world, only if you talk to other people. Because about a third of the time, I would have never said a word to him. About half the time, litigator, lawyer, forget it. I mean, where are we going? I can't tell him any dirty jokes, or, I can sue, Anyway, so there's my story.